Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Al-Shad, Hashem, Rukakudah, Shalom to the 144,000, rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. Anyway, let me do this, because I'm going to play this. This is fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay, here we go. I'm going to entitle this video, They All Know That Russia Will Get Involved in This War. So this is, and I came, okay, before I saw this, came to this video, I clicked on video that the elder out of Vegas, the head of Vegas, Karatazar, dealing with the same professor, and I've been seeing his name. But anyway, this is what he says. This is before Trump became president, I believe the second time. He makes 3 predictions. And then he's a guest on Kim Iverson's show. So I'm going to show you a clip on that. Like I said, I don't make money out of this. This is fair use, fair use, fair use. I even slowed it down. So I'm just going to let you listen. And then I'm going to go to when he's a guest on her show. So I'm hoping I'm at the right spot. So listen up.
I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
They're no longer the bully of the block. You know, you use the word hegemony. They're no longer the bully of the block. And they consider these alliances, these BRICS nations and other alliances coming to pass. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the elder, and I'm going to let some of his video play as well. So Kim Iverson speaks, and then he's a guest, Jang's, whatever his name is, Professor Jang. He's a guest on her show. Let me just go find this clip right there. Here it is right here. Okay, so I'm going to play this. Now, we could have told y'all that, you know? We could have told you that, ultimately the U.S. is going to declare war, be led into the war by, Israel, that leads to the flock shall draw them out, and they're ultimately going to be destroyed. But the MOTB got to come first. So we know we ain't out of here inside of 2 weeks or 2 months. They're going to sit down and probably have talks, but we'll see. So let me go ahead and play this.
Reconcile the differences. And once you reconcile the differences, this will open up Iran for invasion. Because the great fear is that if the United States invades Iran at this point, Russia and China will support Iran.
Watch my videos I did earlier. The one featuring Pepe Escobar. I'm saying the same thing. We all say the same thing. All of us in GMS say the same thing. Let me just bring that back.
Iran for invasion. Because the great fear is that if the United States invades Iran at this point, Russia and China will support Iran. And there's a great possibility that the United States will lose this war. There's no way that Russia...
Well, he said in the other clip, he said not... Let me play this again so I can get the wording.
Iran at this point, Russia and China will support Iran. And there's a great possibility that the United States will lose this war.
He says a possibility. He said in the other clip, he said that they're going to lose the war, which they are ultimately going to lose the war. You see this right here? Midas touch. Trump loses control of war. And this is was Saturday night, Saturday in the daytime, Saturday, Sunday. Well, that's 2 days. And it's a disaster. Look at this guy. He caused a disaster. Trump loses control. Evacuations called, I think. I'm not gonna play this, but you got a wag the dog scenario. And the tail, you're looking at the tail. This is the tail right here. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this is the video, I guess, that I was watching. Yep. No. Was I watching this one? That's Gamel Anassa. You know, the filming of Obadiah 1, a violent record of Amalek. They don't want you to know. Now they took down a video, and they didn't give me a strike. They gave me a warning because I put a video with Hitler saying something about the real Jays. So it was nothing negative that I said. They just, the next morning I got it. Oh, we took this down because of community guidelines. I said, what? Community guidelines is what? You got. If you tell the truth, you're gonna take it down. If y'all caught that video. If y'all caught, what I did was I got it on record anyway. I got a copy of it so I can put it. I'll probably, when I get a chance, I'll put it on Rumble and Odyssey. I got to start using them again because YouTube ain't messing with us like they used to. But anyway, I'm gonna go to this one. Let me just continue to play. I haven't watched this whole thing, so give me a second.
There's no way that Russia will abandon Iran, but China can be negotiated away from.
Well, all you need is Russia. You don't need China, but China will most likely involve itself in it because they're close allies to each other. They're close. You know, they have a working relationship.
From Iran, and that's Trump's game plan before he launched a full-scale invasion of Iran. And look, it's already been settled.
And another thing about, Nero is he's not a general. He's not a battle-tested general. He's not even a sergeant. He avoided the draft over this thing over Hill Spurs. So he's just making a hot, but they allowed him to come up in there. But really, the Most High put him up in there. The elite thinks that they put him up in there. Most High really put him up in there. This got to be the cruel Lord. It's got to be the cruel Lord. I'm thinking about Nero. Nero played the lyre, which is, they say fiddle, but it was a lyre, which is a stringed instrument while Rome burned. So I'm looking at that all over again. He's a hot mess. He's been a hot mess. He's just been in office for a little bit more than a year and a month. Everything he does is oh my goodness.
There's already an agreement that the United States will go and invade Iran because if the United States wants to maintain its imperial hegemony, it needs to control trade access. It needs to control Iran because once it controls Iran, then China is blockaded. The Belt and Road Initiative is dead.
And you notice none of these Edomites, I'm talking about Ezekiel 38. We here at GMS, we're talking about Ezekiel 38, the fulfillment of Ezekiel 38 and Ezekiel 39. Ezekiel 39 goes into the aftermath and the latter part of the chapter, where they bury the bodies, they burn the weapons. So, Ezekiel 38, Ezekiel 39, those are the prophecies of the week. Yes, sir.
Dead. And now the entire Russian southern flank, okay, the southern bottom of Russia is open up, and Russia could be outflanked. So Iran is crucial to the maintenance of American hegemony. The question now.
Yep, that's the word. He used that word, bully on the block, hegemony. Hegemony means you the bully of the block. American hegemony. They tell you got to do this and that. And what basically that's an act of hegemony. When they attacked Iran, the reason why they attacked Iran is because they didn't want to. They wanted them to destroy some of the weapons, or they didn't want to want them to build long-range missiles because they don't have the technology of the long-range missiles. Now, Russia can help them. They can set them up, hook them up. So we almost out of here, man. The last few prophecies, man. We ain't gonna be here for no 1,000 years. It'd be nice if we get out of here by the end of 2026 or beginning of 2027. Most likely make it to 2027. Everything's moving quick anyway.
Now is, when will this happen and how will this happen? So I think it will happen next year, not this year. And Trump needs to create this grand bargain with China before he moves ahead.
Okay. So I do want to say something because obviously we did invade. Well, we haven't invaded. So I think this is important to remember when you say, well, he said it would happen next year. And look, we're at war with Iran this year. He's specifically talking about invasion. And he actually does an entire show on this on his Predictive History channel. And he talks about the U.S. invading Iran with ground troops. And he says this happens, he believes, in March or February, March or April of 2027, he says. So
and that's ultimately the fulfillment of Joel 2, verse 20. Northern Army being emptied into that land. And their base is right there in Havilah between, they're going to be looking towards Kuwait. That's where they were set up in the 90s, early 90s, Desert Storm. Their base was set up in that same area that they're going to be in, pursuant to Joel 2, verse 20.
I think that could be accurate if the war continues on for a year and there's no real... Trump has even said today that he'd be willing to send in troops. And if there isn't any real gains going on, and if we're kind of in this stalemate of this sort of...
Trump doesn't know what he doesn't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't realize, you have the intel on the major Hebrew Israelite group, the major ones, ISUPKs, IUICs, and GMSs. Them are the major, just go to chat. When you put IUIC, they'll compare IUIC to ISUPK and GMS. If you put GMS Israelites, they'll put how does this compare to IUIC or ISUPK? So there's really like three major camps out there. Like I said, I'm saying again, IUIC, ISUPK, GMS. But we're the premier camp because our eyes are single. We know the whole 100% truth.
Air and naval war, then it is very possible that ground troops get sent in. And it's also possible that the timeline is just...
And that's going to be a hot mess. They send the ground troops, and they're not going to send 1,000. They're going to send tens of thousands. And ultimately, they're going to send, like I said, I don't know the numbers, but I can always look it up. The numbers of military men and women in the four branches of the military. Could it be 1 million? Could it be a couple million? I'm not going to look it up right now. Somebody, if you want, you can look it up. I'm lazy. I don't want to look up nothing. Look it up for me. I'll look it up later. But if it's 1 million troops that go over there, 1 million troops is not coming back. They won't need body bags. They'll be a part of the soil. This is exciting, man. And we kept the faith. We stay in this book pursuant to Revelation 3, verse 10. We didn't turn to the right or the left. We didn't go backwards. We never took our hands off the plow. If you notice, people used to scoff us. We hardly get any. We kind of miss the scoffers. You rarely see scoffing, man. Because they're saying, oh shit, everything that GMS was saying. And they're really going to say that when the MOTB That's the main thing. This is why we say ain't nothing gonna happen yet. The MOTB has to be made, and then also the MOTB is gonna be issued out to people of Iran, the Arab nation, the whole planet. Anybody is a part of that digital system. So everything's moving, man.
Sped up. I mean, that's also possible that we didn't even have to wait a year because Trump decided he wanted to do it before the midterms or something.
Iran will also be a major flashpoint in 2026 because right now these protests in Iran, and we know exactly what's going to happen because we see.
Oh, maybe he's. When did I have him on the show? Maybe he is saying that. No, I had him on in January. So maybe when he says next year, do you think he means next year?
Before in Libya and Syria, what's going to happen is that Mossad is going to create these insurgent groups in Iran on the borderlands. They'll be protected by airstrikes and be financed by the CIA. You have these Mossad agents leading these groups, and you'll have slowly an economic blockade of Iran. You have sabotage, infiltration in Iran. You're going to hear a lot about Iran because the Americans, the Israelis, they'll try to create this narrative that any day now, the mullahs will flee to Moscow. Any day now, the regime will collapse. Any day now, the military will launch a.
Yeah, that's called wishful thinking. They're hoping that happens. And they're standing up to the bully.
Coup d'etat against Iran. Any day now, these Iranian people will rise up and overthrow the regime. And look, the reality is that Iran is under tremendous pressure. And so you'll have this infiltration, you'll have these insurgent groups, you'll have warfare going on in Iran. So you'll hear a lot about Iran in 2026.
Well, you may have seen the conversations happening online lately. Censorship is back, and it's happening everywhere. Platforms are controlling narratives and pushing the stuff they want or Mossad trained. And ultimately, U.S. troops get sent to the ground war, and that Iran is actually becomes a giant failure for the U.S. and allies who got us into this war that just will end up killing a ton of Americans.
I almost don't want to go to this video now. Okay, the heavens shall reveal iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Jeremiah 49:10. Hide himself. Esau is bare. You know? I'm going to read this whole thing. Y'all read it. Okay,
Jarut with apparent calm. Beneath the surface, bitter enmity has continued to smolder for years.
Yeah, that's what he
Outraged by
did before.
And there is little or no violence in their search
Hey, the
for
whole world is
justice.
waking up to the truth. The whole world's waking up. Anyway, that's all I'm going to go into. I'm going to say shalom.